Trevor joins us for the Melbourne Racing Preview at Caulfield on Saturday. How you going, Trev?
Good, Mark, good.
All-Star Mile Day, Saturday.
So last year it was at Flemington, and Mystic Journey won on the back up from the Australian Guineas.
Yeah.
And this year it's at Caulfield, and Alligator Blood's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, so we'll have a bit of a look at the Porty League Thursday afternoon. We're filming, so got some early prices up, and you've done a few races, so we'll have a look at the Quad League. So race 6 is the English Dash over the 1100. So the Oakley Plate course, it's a one for the speedsters usually.
Yeah, it's a good sort of good sort of distance. The rail's at 6 metres. I haven't walked it yet. I'll walk it tomorrow afternoon. The only issue going forward is they're tipping rain sort of late Friday afternoon into Friday night. Just depends on what site you look on. Some are tipping up to 20 mil, and then there's some other ones that seem sometimes a bit more accurate, only tipping it sort of up to 5. So just sort of wait and see. But at the moment, I've just done the form for a fair track until something changes.
Yeah, so I think Saturday itself they're saying should be reasonably dry, but
so I think he's held off on the watering until for this sort of rain to come, and then just basically depends how much they get. So if they get sort of under 10, that'll just sort of negate what he would have done if he'd watered. So and if they get more than that, well, it might be a little bit better, but they just drain so well. So as long as the rain stops, the meeting the other week where it rained during the meeting is a bit different, but if the rain stops, then the tracks just drain so well.
Yeah, we see that with all the metro tracks. So race 6 is the sprint over the 1100, way up in the sky at $3.60. Sartorial Splendor $4.80 at the moment. How's your early market look?
So you've basically got them a similar price at the moment on the first draft. So way up in the skies, first up from the spell. He ran well, fresh last time. Sort of won at Newcastle, and he came one down the straight, and then ran a placing down the straight. So I thought it was the horse to beat. D Lane goes on. And Sartorial Splendor, it's fast horse. She just went too quick the other day. She just went far too fast. So trial in between, freshen up. There's a good speed in this race, and it did pull up an issue last start, but sort of better rated here. I thought it was probably the second pick, and they were clearly the two top picks. And then there's sort of gap to horses like XS Funds and Excelida.
Excelida? Yep.
Yeah, it's first up. Got a chance, and a 10 McAvoy's horse who went good sort of a couple of runs ago. So there's a few others, but I thought that in the race, but they were the sort of top first two picks clearly.
Race 7 is the All-Star Mile. Pretty good field this year. It's a bit better than last year. Alligator Blood, as we said earlier, is all the rage. $2.70 favourite at the moment from Melody Bell at $5, and the rest are in double figures. So after the first two, it's a pretty even field. I'm assuming you've got Alligator Blood favourite. I've
got a favourite, but sort of around the 2-1, just under 2-1 mark. It's been up for a long time. This will be 6th run in. He started in the middle of December, so he's been up for a fair while. But once again, he'll just get to own the race. He'll cross all the horses on his inside. He'll find the front. Streets of Avalon will come across. I think possibly Fleet will go forward from the barrier, but there mightn't be that much speed in the race, so it's going to get every possible in front. It's just a winning horse. It's lost one race, so it's clear the horse to beat.
Barely a loss too. It's done by a lip in the Caulfield
beaten by a lip. Yeah, and it's only otherwise it'd sort of be heading for black caviar status. But it's clearly the horse to beat. But amongst the other horses, I thought some chances. Fierce Impact was good first up, and then went back to Sydney, was okay. It's drawn a bit awkward, but I think Williams might push forward from the barrier. I didn't really like Colding. I thought its first up run was a bit plain, and I thought it was poor the other day. It was hard to see it sort of improving too much. Regal Power was terrific last week, but it is going from, it sort of went 1800 first up, 2000 second up. Now it comes back in distance, 1600, and it will be sort of buried back on the inside. So, yeah, it's got a chance, but roundabout. Mr. Quickie's first up. Last time in it was explosive first up. Looks like it's a target race this. But, you know, it'd want to be pretty fit because some sort of horses here are pretty fit. Melody Bell, I thought initially it was a bit disappointing the other day. We sort of backed it and it sort of just held its ground, but maybe it was the bias and everything like that. But to me, it looks well found. I've sort of rated it sort of up a bit high, but just off its best. You know, its best runs have been third and fourth up. I still think it's well found. Superstorm was terrific, running on against Blood and the Guineas, but Strong Barrier 14 doesn't have any speed early, so it's going to be a long way back. And Fleet, the filly, 3-year-old filly, she was good first up, then second up she got caught wide, but she might have to do a little bit of work again from the barrier, but I thought it had some sort of hope at, you know, 16, 20 to 1 sort of thing. But I'm not sure if it'll be a race with betting in. Alligator Blood will be, you know, it's the first pick. You know, I heard Maloney saying that it didn't please him that well early on after the last run, but then it sort of picked up in the last few days. So at some point, you know, you can only go the well so many times. So it'll just be interesting, and you know, they want you to take a short quote at the moment, but I'll just sort of see what happens with the market.
Yeah, one thing I was interested in your opinion on is just getting around the Caulfield mile, rails out 6 metres, so a lot of the obviously very good horses, but they have good form and good record perhaps at Flemington or some of the other bigger tracks. Do you pay much attention or much heed to these Caulfield track specialists as such?
You find some horses do like it, and some horses have preferred tracks, and you know, generally the bigger ones, bigger type horses prefer Flemington and that sort of thing. But you know, Colding sort of, you know, he possibly didn't look to get around it. But nowadays they're sort of cambered. Like there was the old adage that Sydney horses didn't get round Caulfield, but that was back when most of the tracks used to slope from the inside to the outside, so there'd be a negative. So as they come around the corner, they're virtually running down away from themselves, running down the way, and that's where they get on the wrong leg. But now they're all just cambered, like velodromes. So they're all sort of cambered. So yeah, you've got 16 metre race. You got 250 metres to the first corner, then they turn to about 1,000, then they run a straight line for 500 metres, they turn for 200 metres and they run a straight line again. So yeah, you think you'd be able to get around that.
They'll get their chance.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Alright, race 8's over the mile as well, and Admiral's Joker's pretty short here at $1.80 for Kylie Vella and Craig Williams from Hell of a Street at $5, Goldfields $8.50 and Palenko $9.50. How's your market look?
I've got Admiral's Joker favourite, but I can't get it anywhere near that price. It was okay the other day. Vella rated, who's the husband of the trainer, and Williams goes back on, but yeah, I've sort of rated as high as I can. I can't get anywhere near odds on. Clearly the horse to beat still, but and also you know, I sort of want to walk the track because he is drawn sort of basically 8 of 8.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really have any tactical speed early, so he might have to go back. But the problem with the race is there's just not much else in the race. You know, Hell of a Street's been a handy horse in the past, but he's 9 years old now. Caulfield's goes okay, but they never seem to. I think it's a rolling leader, but they never seem to ride it like that. But I've got it second pick. Guizo's been up forever and it's in and out, and then the rest of them don't really have the class, anywhere near the class. So you're sort of left with Admiral's Joker, but the early markets are 125% or something like field of 8, and I'm sort of doing betting markets to 90%, so it's hard to get them short enough. But at the moment, it's the horse to beat, but it's probably a watch race.
Fair enough. And the last of the days over the 1200, a bit more open in the market. Phoenix Global has been backed a bit, but still $4. Litre or lighter is $5.50. Battlestorm $6 and Gododin $6.50.
So Phoenix Global's the favourite, I think, but it's second emergency and there's been only one scratching so far. So I've sort of done a market without it in because it hasn't got a run yet, but I'll have it a clear favourite and possibly a bet. It was super impressive first up. D-Lane rides it, it's got gate speed. But at the moment it hasn't got a run, so with it out of the market at the moment I've got Gododin favourite, which I think's a bet at the moment. I thought it was good first up, goes good, sort of it's gone well here before, and sort of well weighted here, so I thought it was the one to beat. The Perth horse, number 2, got some ratings off Cam for it, which seemed consistent, but it is first up for a long time, changing trainers, and has got 62 kilos in their hold. So Battlestorm, so sort of at its current odds, I was happy to oppose it. Sam's Image missed the start the other day. With a cleaner getaway, it's got sort of some hope. And Lord Chetty should have won at Moonee Valley. Might have some hope at big odds, but pretty much it's either Gododin and anything else, or it'll be Phoenix Global and then save on or back Gododin as well, and then a big gap to the rest.
No worries. So that's the quaddy legs for Caulfield, but we've also got Moonee Valley tomorrow night. Alistair Clark Stakes, the Group 2, I think is the feature.
Yes, there's a cut. So we've got 2 night meetings left. So this week's the Alistair Clark, and next week's the William Reid.
Yeah.
And Stock Stakes and a couple other races. So tomorrow night, I've sort of done most of the meeting there. It doesn't look too bad a meeting. It'll just be, weather dependent, sort of early on, what we get and how much they get and whether it rains during the meeting. But hopefully we can sort of get on a bit of a roll. And back a few winners over the weekend.
Almost back to winner at Sandown yesterday. Caught the dead heat.
Yeah. I thought it was going
for a long way.
I thought it was going to hold on. June Fields. I thought it was going to hold on, and then on the line I was happy for the dead heat. I thought it got beat.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that those horses that priced at 2 to 1 was happy taking 4.20 in the morning, and then at the death taking over $6 on Betfair. You just don't get that. But unfortunately, there's always the punting gods get you, but we got half a dividend. I suppose it's better than no dividend.
That's right, it is better. All right, no worries. We'll have another chat next week after Caulfield. So good luck on Saturday.
Great, thanks, Mark.